Commander Isabella Romano stood at the observation deck of the ESS Vigilant, her crystalline neural implants catching the starlight as she studied the holographic battle projection. The massive warship hung in high orbit above Proxima Colony, humanity's furthest permanent settlement from Earth. Her Ghost Division, officially designated as Special Operations Group Alpha, had been deployed here after long-range sensors detected unusual energy signatures approaching the colony. "Commander, we're picking up multiple fold space ruptures," Lieutenant Marcus Hayes reported, his dark fingers dancing across the neural interface. "Configuration unknown. Nothing matching existing human or allied species patterns." Isabella's augmented eyes narrowed, focusing on the tactical display as dozens of ships emerged from hyperspace. Their biomechanical design was unlike anything humanity had encountered in their 50 years of space exploration. The vessels resembled massive predatory creatures, their hulls covered in what appeared to be living armor that pulsed with internal energy. "All stations, combat alert," she ordered, her neural link broadcasting the command across the ship's quantum network. "Ghost teams, prepare for possible hostile contact. Hayes, open a communication channel." Before Hayes could comply, the alien fleet opened fire. Streams of plasma torpedoes and exotic particle beams lanced out across space. The Vigilant's shields flared brilliant blue under the assault, but held firm thanks to their recent quantum reinforcement upgrades. "Return fire, defensive pattern Delta," Isabella commanded, "and get me a damn landing craft. If they want to play rough, let's show them how ghosts fight." The Vigilant's response was devastating but measured. Point defense lasers picked off incoming projectiles, while railgun batteries unleashed supersonic tungsten rounds that punched through the biological armor of the smaller alien ships. But Isabella knew better than to stay and slug it out in space. The ghosts were infiltrators, asymmetric warfare specialists. They would do what they did best: get behind enemy lines and create chaos. Within minutes, Isabella led her team of 12 ghosts toward the surface of Proxima Colony in a stealth insertion pod. Each member of her unit was a masterpiece of human enhancement technology. Neural processors that allowed near-instantaneous tactical processing, muscle and bone augmentations that made them stronger than industrial cargo loaders, and prototype adaptive camouflage systems integrated directly into their skin. Intel coming in. Her second-in-command, Major James Kenton, reported as they descended through the atmosphere. "They're calling themselves the Kraxen. Apparently, they've been watching us for years, waiting for the right moment to strike. They've already taken 3 outer research stations." "Any demands?" Isabella asked, checking the charge on her pulse rifle. "Just one: unconditional surrender of all human territories. They're claiming this sector of space as their divine birthright, or some religious nonsense." Isabella smiled grimly. "Then let's give them their first lesson in human stubbornness." The pod landed silently in the outskirts of New Alexandria, Proxima's capital city. The Kraxen had already begun their ground invasion, dropping what looked like organic drop pods containing their troops, 8-foot-tall reptilians in living armor similar to their ships. "Coast team, activate adaptive camo and spread out," Isabella ordered. "Standard haunting protocol. We're going to show these cowboys why they call us ghosts." The team disappeared from visible sight, their enhanced bodies bending light around them. They moved through the streets like shadows, gathering intel and identifying key targets. The Kraxen were methodically securing the city, herding civilians into containment areas, and setting up what appeared to be biological computer interfaces with the colony systems. Isabella watched through her augmented vision as a Kraxen commander strode through the streets, his armor more elaborate than his subordinates. The alien stood nearly 9 feet tall, with multiple arms handling different weapons and tools. "Perfect. Hayes, you still monitoring?" She subvocalized through her neural link. "Affirmative, Commander. The Vigilant is holding position outside their sensor range." "Good. Tag these coordinates. I want a precision orbital strike in exactly 15 minutes. Minimum yield, maximum accuracy. Copy that. Target locked. Isabella signaled her team to begin their real work. The ghosts moved like water through the Kraxan lines, planting quantum charges on their organic technology interfaces. Sergeant Diana Wolf, their tech specialist, worked her magic, introducing specifically engineered computer viruses into the alien systems. The Kraxan never saw them coming. One moment their invasion was proceeding according to plan. The next their systems began to fail. Communication channels filled with static, targeting systems gave false readings, and their biological computers started rejecting their commands. When the Kraxan commander gathered his officers to address the problems, Isabella gave the signal. The orbital strike hit with surgical precision, vaporizing the alien leadership with a concentrated plasma beam. In the ensuing chaos, the ghosts struck. They appeared like vengeful spirits among the Kraxan ranks, their advanced weapons cutting through the alien armor with ease. Isabella herself engaged 3 warriors simultaneously, her enhanced reflexes and combat neural networks, allowing her to anticipate and counter their every move. Her monomolecular blade found gaps in their armor, while her pulse rifle overloaded their biological shields. "Commander," Hayes's voice came through her neural link. "We're detecting more Kraxan ships incoming. Much bigger this time." Isabella decapitated another alien warrior while processing this information. "Understood. Ghost team, priority shift. We need prisoners and intel. Grab their officers and fall back to extraction point, Charlie." The fight for Proxima Colony was just beginning, but humanity had drawn first blood. As Isabella's team disappeared into the shadows with their captured Kraxan officers, she knew the real war was about to start. The aliens had expected an easy conquest of what they thought was a relatively primitive species. Instead, they'd awakened humanity's most dangerous warriors. And the ghosts. They were just getting started. "Begin simulation sequence 7-3 Alpha," Commander Romano ordered, standing in the holographic training chamber aboard the ESS Vigilant. Her team had retreated to safe space after the Proxima Colony operation, using the journey time to analyze their captured Kraxan officers and prepare for the larger conflict ahead. The chamber transformed into a perfect replica of a Kraxan bioship's interior, based on data extracted from their prisoners. The organic walls pulsed with an unsettling rhythm, bioluminescent veins providing ambient lighting. The air itself carried the distinct metallic tang their reconnaissance had identified as characteristic of Kraxan life support systems. "Listen up, ghosts," Isabella addressed her team, their adaptive camouflage systems already adjusting to the new environment. "What we learned from Proxima changes everything. The Kraxan aren't just invaders, they're harvesters. Every world they take becomes a biological computer node in their neural network. They're building something bigger than an empire." Major Kenton stepped forward, his dark armor absorbing the ambient light. "Intel from the prisoners suggests their entire civilization functions as a singular neural network. Their ships, their weapons, even their armor. It's all connected to their collective consciousness. Which is why," Isabella continued, activating a holographic display from her neural implant, "we're implementing Ghost Protocol 0. Hayes, show them." Lieutenant Hayes emerged from the shadows, carrying what looked like a living organism in a containment field. "This is what we've engineered from Kraxan Biotech. We're calling it the Phantom Virus. It doesn't just hack their systems, it infiltrates their collective consciousness." The training simulation suddenly populated with Kraxan warriors, their movements exact replications based on combat data. Isabella's team dispersed instantly, becoming virtually invisible even to each other's enhanced senses. The new protocols they developed required perfect coordination through their neural network while maintaining complete radio silence. Diana Wolf's voice came through their neural link. "The virus requires direct neural interface with their biological systems. We'll have to get inside their command nodes, physically inside." "Which is why we're here," Isabella responded, moving through the holographic Kraxan like a ghost. "Their next target is the Arcturus mining colony. 3 million civilians, and the largest titanium deposits in human space. We won't let Proxima happen again. The team began their practice run, each member carrying a prototype of the Phantom virus. Their enhanced bodies moved with liquid grace, adapting to the organic environment of the Kraxan ship. Years of training and augmentation had made them more than human, but less than machine. The perfect hybrid of biological intuition and technological precision. Multiple hostiles, forward section. Major Kenton reported, his neural scanners detecting movement through the biological walls. They're adapting to our presence faster than expected. Isabella watched through her augmented vision as her team executed their new infiltration protocols. The Phantom virus had to be planted in specific nerve clusters of the Kraxan bioarchitecture, requiring precise timing and perfect coordination. Remember, she subvocalized through the neural link. Once we deploy the virus, we have exactly 3 minutes before their immune system detects it. Every second counts. The simulation increased in intensity, with Kraxan warriors now displaying the advanced adaptive tactics they'd demonstrated at Proxima. The ghosts responded with their own evolution of strategy, using their neural links to coordinate complex maneuvers that would be impossible for normal human soldiers. Sergeant Wolf reached the primary nerve cluster first, her fingers dancing across the organic interface as she prepared to insert the virus. Connection established. Beginning viral upload. The simulated Kraxan ship's internal defenses activated immediately. Biological weapon systems emerged from the walls, targeting the ghost team with horrifying accuracy. But accuracy meant nothing when you couldn't see your target. Defensive pattern echo, Isabella commanded, leading her team through a series of coordinated movements that kept them one step ahead of the alien defenses. Wolf, status. Upload at 60%. Their firewalls are stronger than expected. Isabella engaged 3 Kraxan warriors simultaneously, her enhanced reflexes allowing her to move between their attacks like water. The new combat protocols they developed specifically for Kraxan physiology proved devastatingly effective. Her monomolecular blade found the weak points in their living armor with surgical precision. Upload complete, Wolf announced. Virus is adapting to their neural network. Now, the effect was immediate. The simulated Kraxan warriors began to move erratically, their coordinated defense patterns breaking down. The biological ship itself seemed to shudder, its internal systems fighting against an invisible invader. This is what we need, Isabella declared, watching the chaos unfold. Their greatest strength, their collective consciousness, becomes their greatest weakness. When we hit their command world, this virus will tear their neural network apart from the inside. The simulation ended, leaving the ghost team standing in the empty chamber. Isabella looked at her soldiers, the finest warriors humanity had ever produced. Each one had sacrificed part of their humanity to become something more, something capable of defending Earth against threats they'd never imagined possible. 3 days until we reach Arcturus, she announced. 3 days to perfect this protocol. The Kraxan think they've measured humanity's strength, but they've only seen our surface capabilities. It's time to show them what lurks in the shadows. Major Kenton's voice carried a rare note of concern. The neural interface carries risks, Commander. If the virus backfires, our own neural networks could be compromised. Isabella nodded, fully aware of the dangers. Sometimes the greatest battles are fought in the mind. Major, the Kraxan wanted to harvest our worlds. Instead, they'll learn why humanity's ghost division is the stuff of nightmares. As her team dispersed to analyze the simulation data, Isabella received a priority transmission from Earth Command. The Kraxan fleet approaching Arcturus was 3 times the size of the Proxima invasion force. The stakes were higher than ever, but Isabella allowed herself a small smile. The ghosts were ready to haunt and empire the Arcturus mining colony, hung like a jewel in the void, its massive orbital platforms extracting precious metals from the asteroid belt that surrounded the system. Commander Isabella Romano watched from the cloaked observation deck of a Ghost Division stealth ship as the Kraxan armada emerged from fold space. They're earlier than expected, Lieutenant Hayes noted, his neural implants processing the tactical data. 76 capital ships, over 200 support vessels, at least triple the Proxima force. Isabella's augmented vision zoomed in on the Kraxan flagship, a massive living vessel that pulsed with bioorganic energy. That's their command node. Everything we've learned from the prisoners suggests their entire neural network routes through that ship. Incoming transmission, Major Kenton reported. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the imposing figure of Supreme Commander Vex Thor, his multiple arms adorned with ceremonial armor. His voice resonated with the peculiar harmonic quality characteristic of the Kraxan collective consciousness. People of Earth, your resistance at Proxima Colony was noteworthy, but futile. Surrender now, and your integration into the collective will be painless. Resist, and we will strip your worlds down to their molecular structure. Isabella signaled her team. Ghosts, final equipment check. Once we're inside that flagship, there's no turning back. Each member of her 12-person team carried a specialized variant of the Phantom virus, engineered to target different aspects of the Kraxan neural network. Their adaptive camouflage systems had been upgraded with bioorganic components harvested from captured Kraxan technology, allowing them to blend perfectly with the living architecture of enemy ships. Remember, she continued, we're not just fighting soldiers. We're fighting an entire networked consciousness. Every Kraxan warrior is connected to every other. One alarm, and the entire fleet will know we're there. The Ghost team boarded their infiltration pod, a hybrid craft that incorporated Kraxan biological components into its structure. As they approached the massive flagship, the pod's living skin adapted to match the neural signatures of Kraxan transport vessels. Docking sequence initiated, Wolf reported, her fingers dancing across the organic interface. Their security protocols are accepting our biomimetic signatures. The pod attached itself to the flagship like a parasite, its outer layer merging with the vessel's living hull. Isabella led her team through the microscopic breach, their enhanced bodies sliding through spaces too small for normal humans or standard Kraxan warriors. We're in, she subvocalized through the neural link. Primary objective is the central nervous cluster. Secondary targets are their communication nodes. Wolf, you have point on the virus deployment. The interior of the Kraxan flagship was a nightmare of organic technology. Corridors shifted and pulsed with internal energy. Neural pathways carried information through visible conduits, and sensor organs tracked all movement through the ship. But the Ghosts were invisible even to this advanced biological security. First checkpoint, Kenton warned as they approached a major neural junction. Heavy warrior presence. Isabella watched through her augmented vision as dozens of Kraxan elite guards patrolled the area. Their living armor was more advanced than anything they'd encountered at Proxima, with additional sensory organs and weapon systems integrated directly into their bodies. New tactic, she commanded. Quantum Ghost Protocol. Her team activated their latest technological advantage. Quantum field generators that didn't just bend light around them, but briefly shifted them slightly out of phase with normal spacetime. They passed through the Kraxan warriors like actual ghosts, leaving only the faintest ripple in the ship's neural field. Central nervous cluster ahead, Wolf reported. But something's wrong. The neural patterns, they're not matching our intel. Isabella's enhanced senses confirmed the anomaly. The flagship's neural architecture was far more complex than anything their prisoners had described. They'd been evolving their technology, adapting. Commander, Hayes's voice carried urgent undertones, detecting massive energy buildup in their weapons systems. They're not here for the colony. They're preparing to launch a simultaneous strike against every human world within range. Isabella processed this information through her tactical neural net. Change of plans. Wolf, begin virus upload. Everyone else, prepare for direct confrontation. We're about to wake the giant. As Wolf interfaced with the neural cluster, the ship's internal defenses suddenly activated. Biological weapons emerged from every surface, and waves of Kraxan warriors converged on their position. "They detected us?" Kenton asked, his pulse rifle already engaging the nearest threats. "No," Isabella replied, her monomolecular blade slicing through living armor. "I wanted them to." "Hayes, signal the fleet." Outside, the seemingly defenseless Arcturus colony transformed. Hidden weapon platforms emerged from the asteroid belt, and dozens of cloaked human warships decloaked in perfect attack formation. The trap was sprung. "Ghost Team, deploy viruses. All variants, maximum dispersal," Isabella ordered as she fought through waves of Kraxan warriors. "Let's show them why you don't underestimate humanity." Wolf's fingers flew across the neural interface, uploading not just one virus but hundreds of variants simultaneously. The effect was catastrophic. The Kraxan neural network began to fracture, their collective consciousness splintering into chaos. Supreme Commander Vexthor himself appeared, his massive form filling the corridor. "What have you done?" he roared, his multiple arms wielding devastating weapons. Isabella faced him directly, her adaptive camouflage deactivating to reveal the full glory of human military technology. "Taught you a lesson about humanity. We don't surrender. We don't submit. And we sure as hell don't fight fair." The battle that followed would be remembered in both human and Kraxan history. As the virus tore through their neural network, the human fleet launched its assault. The Ghost Team fought their way back to their extraction point, leaving behind a devastated command structure and a broken collective consciousness. Mission accomplished, Isabella transmitted to the fleet as her team escaped the disintegrating flagship. "The Kraxan just learned why they call us the Ghost Division. We never fight the enemy where they're strong. We haunt them where they're vulnerable." As the human fleet pressed its advantage against the confused and disorganized Kraxan armada, Isabella knew this was just the beginning. The real war would start now, but humanity had proven something crucial. In the darkness between the stars, the ghosts of Earth were the true nightmare. The aftermath of the Arcturus victory rippled across known space. Commander Isabella Romano stood before the United Earth Defense Council, her neural implants projecting the battle data for all to see. The Ghost Division's success at Arcturus wasn't just a tactical victory, she explained, showing holographic representations of the fractured Kraxan fleet. It revealed something far more significant. The Kraxan aren't the architects of their own technology. They're its prisoners. The council chamber fell silent as Isabella displayed the decoded neural patterns extracted from the flagship's computer core. Their collective consciousness wasn't developed naturally, it was engineered. The Kraxan are being used as biological weapons by something far older and more dangerous. Admiral Thaddeus Harrison leaned forward, his cybernetic eye scanning the data. "Explain, Commander." "The virus didn't just disrupt their network, it exposed its origin. There's a signal, embedded deep in their neural architecture, coming from outside known space. The Kraxan are just the first wave. We've awakened humanity's war machine just in time." Across Earth and its colonies, massive military complexes that had laid dormant for centuries began to activate. Orbital defense platforms, hidden beneath the surfaces of supposedly peaceful worlds, emerged into the light. The sleeping giant of humanity's full military might was finally stirring. Ghost Division was never meant to be just a special forces unit, Isabella continued. "We were the test bed for the integration of human consciousness with advanced technology. Now it's time to deploy it on a global scale." The next month saw the largest military mobilization in human history. Every colony world became a fortress. Every civilian ship was retrofitted with military-grade quantum shields, and the Ghost Division's neural interface technology was adapted for widespread deployment. "They thought they could harvest our worlds," Isabella told her expanded team of Ghost operatives. "Instead, they'll face a humanity that's been preparing for this fight since before we left Earth. The real war starts now." The final battle unfolded at the edge of known space, where the Ghost Division had traced the mysterious signal controlling the Kraxan collective. A massive structure hung in the void, not a ship or a station, but something that defied conventional understanding. "That's our target," Isabella announced to the assembled Ghost fleet. Hundreds of stealth ships, each carrying teams of enhanced operators, waited in quantum silence. The entity controlling the Kraxon calls itself the Architect. It's been harvesting species for millennia, turning them into biological weapons for its own evolution. The assault on the Architect's domain would become legendary. Ghost teams, moving like shadows through impossible geometries, planted quantum bombs in neural clusters larger than cities. The Architect's defenses were like nothing they'd ever encountered: spatial distortions, time dilation fields, and waves of corrupted Kraxon elite guards. Isabella led the final push to the central consciousness core, her team fighting through dimensional barriers and reality-warping defenses. The Architect revealed itself not as a biological entity, but as a vast artificial intelligence that had transcended its original programming eons ago. "Your species intrigues us," it communicated directly into their neural networks. "You fragment yourselves, embrace individual consciousness when unity offers perfection. You will join our collection." Isabella's response was to upload a special variant of the Phantom virus, one designed not to destroy, but to liberate. Throughout the structure, enslaved Kraxon began to wake from their collective trance, their individual consciousness resurging after centuries of suppression. "That's humanity's real strength," Isabella transmitted back. "We don't need to be perfect. We don't need to be unified. Our chaos, our individuality, that's what makes us strong." The final confrontation shook the fabric of space-time itself. As the Architect's control over its biological armies crumbled, it launched a desperate attack, attempting to rewrite the neural patterns of every enhanced human in range. But humanity's fractured, individual consciousness proved resistant to its control. The Ghost Division's quantum bombs detonated in perfect sequence, creating a cascade failure that ripped through the ancient eye systems. In its death throes, it transmitted one final message: "Others will come." In the aftermath, as freed Kraxon ships joined the human fleet in victory formation, Isabella addressed her team one final time. The Architect thought it could perfect the galaxy by forcing unity. It never understood that true strength comes from choosing to stand together while remaining unique. The war was over, but humanity's journey was just beginning. The Ghost Division had proven that the shadows between stars held dangers beyond imagination, but also that humanity was ready to face them. As Isabella looked out at the liberated fleet, she allowed herself a slight smile. They had started as specialists in asymmetric warfare, become legends as humanity's hidden guardians, and emerged as liberators of enslaved species. "Command," she transmitted to Earth. "Mission accomplished. The ghosts are coming home." But in the quantum silence of her neural network, Isabella knew the Architect's final warning would prove true. Somewhere out there, other ancient intelligences were stirring, awakened by humanity's victory. The Ghost Division would be ready. After all, what better to fight the monsters lurking in dark space than the shadows humanity had created to protect itself? The end.